It's a little AK pistol. It's a Draco, mini Draco. Client wanted an FRT in it. The FRT is a Kono sold under Plinkify currently, but it's a pain in the ass to get it working correctly in this weapon and other AKs and pistols and things. But I've gone through a couple of triggers and I've figured out how it works and what you need to do to make yours work. Starting with this here. This is the original trigger that came in it. And you can see right here where I shaved this corner down. See that little where I filed it right there. It used to be squared like this other one, but I trimmed it. And that is because right there is the corresponding area where this little cam rides on that leg. Now, what they don't tell you is that the amount of material that you file on that corner is super critical. If you don't file off enough, then it's not going to get by this cam right there. And if you take off too much, then the mechanism for the FRT is not going to work at all, because this trigger will have too much freedom. And what's going to happen is, if you cut too much on the corner of that leg, what happens is this hammer will follow the bolt every time it comes back. So instead of it tripping at the end, instead of the cam tripping the mechanism to release the hammer when the bolt carries all the way forward, this is never in battery, and what it does is it just follows the hammer all the way up, and then the round doesn't go off. What you get is like primer strikes. You'll just get, if you shave too much off of that trigger leg, what happens is it just follows this up. You'll get one shot and that's it. And then when you look on the side, you'll just see this hammer up. And then you'll cock it back and load a new round, and you'll do the same thing. You'll just get one shot. You'll just get one shot. So whenever you take off the material on this corner down here, you have to do just a little bit at a time. And the way you do that is you have to test it over and over. So what you do is you'll file a little bit off of that leg. See my little corner on there? I can't really get focused on it. I just got a little bit off. And the way you test it is you pull your trigger in, rack your carrier, and when you slide it forward, it's going to stay hooked if you're good. And it's going to wait all the way until your carrier's in the full forward battery, and then it trips the hammer. And you can see it working. It's because of this little wire right here. That wire is moved with this carrier, so the carrier comes back and it pushes the top of that cam right there. As you can see, it pushes the cam back, and then when it's going forward, at the very end, when it goes into battery, that wire is just long enough that when this hammer when the trigger group gets all the way forward, into the chamber, it's going to pull that cam back and let the trigger go. So like I was saying, don't just go in here and start shaving off that corner. Don't take anything off. Just put the full trigger in there and see what it's doing here. You may not need to take anything off, depending on how the weapon is designed and which trigger is in it. But you can see on this one, I took off very little. And I only did it on one side, because this cam only hits the left side of that trigger. It doesn't hit the right side of that leg. It only hits the left side. So I didn't even shave it all the way across. I just shaved it on the left edge of that corner. See that, how it matches up? Just barely makes contact. That's what you want, just barely touching it. That was my mistake on this one here. I got greedy with the file and took off too much to where it didn't work at all. It worked a little bit at first when I had just barely cut the corner. And instead of troubleshooting, I just automatically jumped to this and thought it must be my problem right here. So I shaved off or filed off a little bit more. And the next thing you know, I got the hammer follow with the single shot. But that's why it's not right. This isn't shaved right. You got to be very precise. If you take off too much or in the wrong place, you'll be buying another trigger and starting over again.